When you look for the most successful drug lord in history, names like Pablo Escobar usually lead the list. At his absolute peak, Escobar moved roughly 20 tons of product in a single year. But in the 19th century, there was a trade network that moved over 6,000 tons of narcotics annually. This operation was not run by a cartel in the shadows, but by the British Empire under Queen Victoria. For decades, the British government functioned as a primary global distributor of opium, using the drug as a tool of statecraft to expand its influence across Asia. In the 1700s, China was a self-sufficient superpower. Known as the Middle Kingdom, it strictly regulated all foreign contact, limiting European merchants to a single port in Canton. The Chinese had no interest in British wool or manufactured goods. They demanded that every shipment of tea, silk, and porcelain be paid for exclusively in silver. This created a massive trade imbalance. To satisfy the British public's demand for tea, nearly a third of the world's silver was flowing out of London and into Chinese vaults. Facing an economic drain that threatened their imperial expansion, the East India Company decided to bypass Chinese trade laws by creating a demand for a product that the Chinese government had already banned. The British began mass-producing opium in Bengal, India. From there, they shipped the drug clandestinely into China, marketing it as a recreational habit rather than the medicinal sedative it had traditionally been. The British reversed the wealth flow, selling black market opium for silver, then using that silver to buy Chinese tea. This fueled an epidemic, with 4 to 12 million citizens addicted by the 1830s. The addiction spread through every level of society. It was present in rural farming villages and increasingly common within the elite imperial army barracks. For the British, the mounting social cost within China was the necessary price of maintaining the solvency of their global empire. Emperor Dogwang eventually pushed back, appointing an official named Lin Zexu to end the trade. Lin confiscated and destroyed 1,200 tons of British opium, dissolving the drug in trenches filled with lime and salt. Britain responded by treating the destruction of their illegal cargo as an act of war. They deployed the British Navy, using advanced steam-powered gunboats to blockade Chinese ports. The First Opium War ended quickly. The technologically outmatched Chinese forces could not stop the British from seizing control of the Yangtze River, forcing the Qing government to surrender in 1842. The Treaty of Nanking forced China to pay for the destroyed opium, open 5 more ports to British trade, and cede the island of Hong Kong to the British Crown. The war established a new precedent. The British would use modern military force to ensure their right to sell narcotics in a sovereign nation. Once the British broke the Chinese trade monopoly, other powers followed. France, Russia, and the United States soon demanded their own unequal treaties, extracting their own territorial and legal concessions. During a second war in 1860, European forces marched on Beijing. They looted and burned the Old Summer Palace, a site containing centuries of art and architecture, to force the full legalization of the drug trade. Internal stability collapsed. The combination of widespread addiction and foreign intervention helped fuel the Taiping Rebellion, a massive civil war that killed an estimated 20 million people and weakened the Qing dynasty beyond any hope of recovery. This era of military defeat and social fracture is remembered in China as the Century of Humiliation, the period where the 300-year-old dynasty lost its grip on national sovereignty. After the fall of the empire, the new Chinese government prioritized the total eradication of the opium trade, eventually establishing some of the most restrictive drug laws in the world. Today, drug trafficking in China can mean life imprisonment or the death penalty. These laws are strictly enforced through public displays of narcotic seizures. This zero-tolerance policy is rooted in the history of the 19th century. It is designed to ensure that the domestic population is never again used as a financial resource for a foreign power.